2Pac father Billy Garland responds to Kefee D's house in Las Vegas being raided, and it's interesting what he had to say. Billy Garland's not playing around. Let's get into some of this straight game. Life is like cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy DELRAY, Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button notification. Also subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And like I always say, if you would like to be one of the first people notified when I drop some of this straight game, please do me a favor and hit what appears to be that little bell notification right below this video. I'm going to get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, the father of 2Pac Shakur, Billy Garland, has responded to the recent police raid and search warrant investigation into Kefee D's Las Vegas residence. And this is very interesting. Like I said before, Kefee D had just said something in regards to Mr. Garland not understanding anything about the FBI and how the federal government works. I would say that Mr. Garland doesn't understand it from an informant perspective, but he does understand it from a logical perspective on how the federal government works. But I'm gonna get right into it, man. Mr. Garland came off and he was firing. Mr. Garland basically said,
back to that G shit. Niggas be clocking and bitches be wondering like, damn, who was he with? He got his own label, he independent, dog. And that shit that they be dropping, that be popping off. Back for another 12, they can't put me on the shelf, cause I do this motherfucking shit myself. So come and take a ride and watch me dip and glide. I just come to ease your...
Raided a home. Whose home? For what purpose? Looking for what? This is the big lead we've all been waiting for 27 years. And like Mr. Garland always say, get the fuck out of here with this unbelievable misdirection, misinformation bullshit. For 27 years, this same person said Orlando Anderson was the murderer. Now you raid the home of this federal informer who told you this lie. Help me make sense of this bullshit. Is it the truth? Never. If they had something like true evidence, they would have a press conference like the President of the United States. Just more deflection. My son makes news again. What's new? Wow. So that's Mr. Garland's response, Billy Garland, 2Pac's father's response in regards to the Kefee D situation and his house being raided. And I would have to concur with that a little bit, if you will, based on the fact that usually when they raid somebody's house or they do some kind of real, or they got some kind of real evidence, it's going in, it's placing somebody in handcuffs, it's then having a press conference as to the charges related to the situation in regards to the person that they locked up. And what appears to me, this situation involving Kefee D was about, and I don't know, but it's like they were looking for something. I haven't seen the search warrant, but they were looking for something, and they found a few things, from what I understand, some 40 caliber bullets and so on and so forth. But to me, this wasn't more about the 2Pac situation, because if it was about the 2Pac situation, from that perspective, I think Kefee D would have been arrested. Like Mr. Garland is saying, for 27 years, right? Kefee D has been going on various channels and things like that and speaking and actually doubling down and basically even telling a few mistruths, if you will. Like the one mistruth that I would have to say, like, which is in his book, which I read, right? And Kefee D says in the book, and I'm going to contrast it with what he said to Vlad. He said on Vlad. Vlad had asked Kefee D So what happened in regards to when y'all were riding up on the BMW in the white Cadillac? And Kefee D basically said that 2Pac tried to reach for a gun, right? And what this was it's a self-defense. Vegas has a self-defense law. Let's be clear. See, so most people who don't know about the Vegas law, Vegas has a stand your ground law, if you will, right? So the argument that Kefee D was making was 2Pac was grabbing for something, and 2Pac grabbing for something, somebody in the car retaliated in kind, right? The trouble with that story is when Kefee D confessed basically to handing the gun to Orlando, right? Or handing the gun to both of the guys, and one guy passing the gun off to somebody else. What that basically establishes is the fact that you were already, it was premeditated what you were going to do, right? So whether 2Pac had a gun or was reaching for a gun, which no gun was found, right? And if somebody's coming up on you and 2Pac's trying to jump in the back seat, he can't be trying to reach for a gun and jump in the back seat too. You understand what I'm saying? And Kefee D testified to that much about what happened. But when he said 2Pac first tried to allegedly reach for a gun, that he ducked, right? But then on Vlad, he said that he witnessed Suge Knight being shot in the head or grazed in the head, and he thought that Suge Knight was dead. None of that makes sense. 1 minute you ducked and you didn't see whether 2Pac had a gun, but the next minute you see Suge getting shot. How? You know what I mean? And so, you know, if people are really listening, right? You know, a lot of people listen to be entertained, but I listen to be informed, you know? And so with all of those things being said, you know, it kind of just, you know, it sickens me a little bit, man. You know, so I can understand where Mr. Garland is coming from in this message, you know, and like I said, you know, more people than not have been gravitating to this story. But like I said, once again, I don't listen to be entertained. I listen to be informed. If something it's not informing to me, I really don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, because it's just a waste of time, and it's time that I'll never get back. So what I try to do is I try to come on with information to help you think through what's really going on. And like I said, so the Las Vegas thing, it wasn't really about 2Pac as much as it was about Kefee D being in the car and so on and so forth. Because if it was really about something like Mr. Garland said, you know, they coming with real evidence, real proof. They not coming 27 years later with a search warrant looking for something, you know, hoping to, I guess catch him doing something else that he might be doing, because we don't know what Kefee D's doing. So we don't know if that was more so about what he could be doing now or the 2Pac situation. The reason why I say that is because all of the talking that he's been doing for the past years, he's already admitted, you know, on side with the proffer agreement, he's already admitted once again that that's what that was. So from that perspective, what I understand is now whatever evidence and things that they have, they've accumulated is now going to the grand jury. And it's going to be a lot of people, you know, as far as with these confessions, if they're using some of the social media commentary, you know, that are going to have to come to court. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. But like I said, this is kind of like a wait and see game. But like I said, I understand what Mr. Garland is saying. Like, you know, usually when the police come and they're looking for somebody and they got real evidence, they coming to lock you up. They're not coming to, you know, or if they're coming to do like some type of drug bust or something like that, they looking for, you know, evidence. They're looking for what you call paraphernalia or any other kind of incriminating evidence, you know, to lock the person up. So, you know, and from what I understand, you know, yeah, it's a tough, it's a slippery slope from that angle when you think about everything that just happened. But yeah, I just thought I'd bring you guys what Mr. Garland just said. You know what I mean? And tell me what you guys think in the comments, man. It's very interesting, his take on it, and also calling Kefee D a federal informer. You know what I mean? I think Tupac on one end also, that was one of the things that Tupac despised, was snitches and people who like to, do one thing 1 minute and then go tell on everybody else. You know what I mean? In one of the songs, he said, yeah, half these bitch niggas snitching. You know what I mean? I think that was against all laws, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. So, a lot of times it's crazy, when you think about all that's going on right now as far as this Kefee D thing. And, more will be revealed, hopefully in time, and to see what kind of evidence they really do have and what they've been accumulating so far. Your boy DELRAY, straight gang.